Alex Eala has already played more matches than any other player on the WTA Tour this season, and her recent run through Washington and Toronto has only added to the demands on her body.
Alex Eala walked off a Cincinnati court with a win that came from a rule most tennis fans never see up close. She was crushing her opponent when the match ended before the final point was ever played. What she said right after, and the story her own family lived through just to be there, is why people are still talking about Alex Eala's full studio talk and reaction after beating Ruse. The match happened at the Cincinnati Open, a WTA 1000 event, one of the biggest levels in women's tennis outside the 4 Grand Slams. Alex Eala came in as the 17th seed, her highest seeding ever at this level. Her opponent was Elena Gabriella Ruse from Romania, ranked 77 in the world. On paper, it looked winnable for Eala. In reality, nobody knew how it would go. Because these two had history. Back in 2024, at US Open qualifying, Ruse beat Eala in 3 sets. Eala had won the first set that day and looked ready to book her first ever Grand Slam main draw spot. Ruse fought back and closed it out 6-4 in the third. That loss stuck with Eala. It was the kind of defeat that does not just cost a match. It leaves a question a player has to answer eventually. Saturday in Cincinnati was that answer. Ruse broke Eala's serve in the very first game. For one moment, it looked like the same story was about to repeat itself. Then everything flipped. Eala broke straight back, found her rhythm, and did something most players cannot do under pressure. She won 9 games in a row. The set finished 6-1. The second set opened the same way, with Eala racing to a 3-0 lead. She was not just winning points, she was controlling every rally from the first shot. Then the match stopped, and not because of anything either player did wrong. Ruse called for a medical timeout. Her right foot needed strapping. Right after that, lightning moved into the area and officials suspended play for safety. Both players left the court not knowing when, or if, they would come back. When it was time to resume, Ruse made the call. She retired from the match. Here is the part a lot of fans got confused about. In professional tennis, when a player retires because of injury, the match automatically goes to their opponent. There is no vote, no review, no debate. Eala won 6-1, 3-0, because the rules say so, plain and simple. There was no controversy hiding inside that scoreline. There was only an unfinished match and a player whose body would not let her keep going. But what Eala said minutes later is the real reason this moment stood out. She did not celebrate first. She did not talk about revenge. Even though this was the same player who had denied her a Grand Slam debut 2 years earlier. The very first thing she said was that she hoped Ruse, who she called Gabby, would recover quickly. She said health matters more than anything else for every player on tour. Only after that did she talk about her own game, saying she had found her rhythm early and managed to hold on to it the whole way through. This was her first ever time playing in Cincinnati, and she said the crowd energy reminded her of another city that means a lot to her. Toronto. Alex Eala is through to the quarterfinals in Washington, and the story behind this win is exactly why fans can't stop talking about her. Down 5-1 in the second set against defending champion Leylah Fernandez, everything looked over. And then, somehow, it wasn't. Speaking right after the match, Eala didn't shy away from how tough the conditions were. Windier than the day before, she admitted, was definitely a factor but something she couldn't control. She gave real credit to Fernandez too, saying she put me in some really tough positions, and that she was super proud of how she fought and stayed in there. But the real turning point everyone wants to know about is that second set collapse and comeback. At 5-1 down, Eala said her level had simply dropped. One of those tricky moments where you know things aren't clicking, but you can't figure out why in real time. Her answer for how she clawed it back? Patience, working it out point by point, trusting a strong mentality to find solutions when nothing was coming easily. Here's a detail a lot of casual fans might miss, but tennis diehards will appreciate. After the win, Eala walked straight over to her coach Joan. Not every player on tour does that. Some treat matches as a solo battle, no interaction, no celebration together. But Eala made a point of saying how important that relationship is to her, calling Joan her confidant, someone she trusts completely. She didn't stop there either. She shouted out her team back home too, Yuke and Sandro, and even gave Sandro a birthday shout-out live on camera. Small moment, but it says a lot about how she credits her circle, not just herself, for these wins. Then there's the fan support, and honestly, this might be the most consistent storyline of her entire season. Washington has been no different. Massive Filipino crowds, cheering constantly, and when asked directly why the support is so strong everywhere she goes, she gave an answer that felt genuinely reflective rather than rehearsed. She said it's hard to give one concrete answer, but she's aware of the platform she holds. She called herself the first Filipina to reach this stage in tennis, and said she represents more than just her country, she represents a minority, and maybe a young girl somewhere who never saw a pathway before her. That kind of statement comes with weight, and the follow-up question went right at it. Does that support bring pressure? Her answer was honest. Yes, there's pressure. She's a competitive athlete after all. But she was quick to separate that from something deeper, the pressure she puts on herself. She described herself as extremely self-demanding, extremely ambitious, and made it clear that regardless of who's cheering for her, this journey belongs to her first. And the numbers back up just how big this fan surge actually is. Tournament owner Mark Ein revealed that from the moment Eala committed to play, roughly a month before the event, 80% of all ticket calls and emails the tournament received were people asking specifically when she was playing. When she heard that number relayed back to her, her reaction was simple. She called it incredible and said it makes her feel loved and makes playing in Washington that much more exciting. Even with all of that success and attention, there was a lighter, more human moment near the end of the interview. Asked if she's had any chance to explore the city, she admitted she hasn't seen much of it at all. Matches are demanding, training is demanding, and right now that has to come first. She said she enjoys her time on tour, but she's still working, and jokingly asked fans watching to send her suggestions for what to check out in her free time. The interview wrapped with her sending a message to the crowd in her native tongue, and the reaction from fans said everything you need to know about the connection she's built in such a short time on tour.
Oh, yes.
Alex Eala just beat a 6-time Grand Slam champion on center court, and the way she did it is stranger than the scoreline. On July 4, 2026, Alexandra Eala walked out at Wimbledon ranked world No. 29, drawn against defending champion Iga Swiatek, the No. 3 seed with 6 Grand Slam titles to her name. Nobody expected a contest. Eala's own serve barely breaks club rally